Hi guys, welcome back. So today I am doing a tutorial on contouring. So it's very popular these days to contour the skin, and there's two ways of doing it. One is with foundation and the other way is with powder. So I'm going to show you how to do it with foundation and then I'm going to set it with powder. Okay, so to start off, I always use one of these and one of these. So I have a little palette and then a little spatula that I mix things like my concealer and my moisturiser out with. But then also when you're mixing the products together, you're not mixing them on the back of your hand. I have been having a bit of a breakout of my skin. I've been to 111 Harley Street Clinic and they have been fantastic. So they've given me some products to what I've been using now for about 2 months, and it's really helped. But one of the things they recommended was this foundation, which is Lycogel. This basically allows your skin to breathe and it doesn't clog the pores, and you can buy it in Wigmore Street. Okay, so I've got a few pumps of that there. And then just underneath the eyes, like you're not really going to get spots there. So I've got my old favourites, which is 2 MAC products. I've got Select Cover Up in NC20 and Pro Longwear in NC20 as well. And they're both concealers. And then also I've just got a slightly heavier one, and that's MAC NC20 Studio Sculpt, and that's just to go over and cover up any blemishes that might be showing. I do need to get the concealer to go with that, but considering you've got quite a heavy base already of this, I feel like it's probably okay just to put a little bit of this over the top. So what we're going to do is start off underneath the eyes. So lots of people make the mistake of they just put a little bit of concealer just literally underneath the eye area here. It needs to literally be a whole big triangle shape like this. I'm using a MAC 193 brush. So I'm just mixing together these two. And you want these to be a shade lighter than your foundation. And you need your skin to be moisturised as well, because if the skin's dry, it'd be really hard to buff. So I already moisturise my skin with one of my Harley Street products. Not quite up to the eye because we're going to buff that in. So if you was to use your brush, you'll just literally from the nose outwards. So you want to get rid of this redness here. The other areas it would go is here and through here, but I'm going to use my foundation first because I want that to like basically protect my skin, and then I'll do any highlighting over the top. So now with the foundation that I was just telling you about, I'm just going to go through, and this is in shade Caramel, and literally you only need like a couple of pumps and it really gives a really good coverage. Lots of people ask me whether I foundation over my lips, and I don't really tend to do that unless like I've just sort of I'm changing the colour on a shoot and I've just done a red lip and I'm trying to do a nude and I'm just sort of wanting to really quickly dial down the colour. I find if there's a lot of foundation on the lip, it's hard then to get the natural colour of the lipstick, because you're actually almost mixing the lipstick with the foundation and it sort of changes the colour of the lipstick. So don't worry too much about blending because I'm going to buff it all out in just a second. Over the eyelid. I don't go like over the brows, I just go round them. Right up into the jaw. And this foundation literally, once you've put it on, it doesn't budge. It's a camouflage foundation, so it's fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna go onto one of these crown brushes now and just lightly buff over the skin. Okay, gonna go back in under the eyes now. So right up into the corner where can get a bit dark. And then with one of these brushes, which are typically used to blend shadows, I use them as a concealer brush. So it's really like quite a slow process, just sort of building up, but it really sort of illuminates underneath the eyes there. It is important to bring it all the way out as well. You can just tap it on and then blend. And you can see already without any powder, you've already got that nice light effect there. And then once we've powdered that in, you'll really see the difference. So move on to this eye. So it does feel like sort of putting a lot of makeup on, which I am, but this is for, you know, this would be for like an evening look or a special occasion. You know, you could use this for a wedding. I mean, by all means, if you want to have this as your everyday look, go for it if you've got the time in the morning. The next place that you want to highlight is just in here, so you literally just want to just draw up sort of like 3 stripes like this, and then you just want to buff this out. And you have so much more control with a little brush like this. And then the last place is just here. You can also, if you want to narrow your nose, you can just go down your nose like that as well. So these areas that I've now highlighted, I'm going to go through and powder them in. And for that, I am going to use my Mineralise Skin Finish in medium. In that product is MAC. Looks a bit like this. Okay, I'm just going to use a little angled brush. This is C405. It's a contouring brush and it's by Crown Brushes. Okay, so just going to run a little bit of powder along here. So literally just going over the areas that we kept light, and then underneath the eyes, sweeping all the way out, and then just a little bit there. I am just going to do, there's a couple of blemishes, how annoying. So I'm just going to use a little bit of NC30 Pro Longwear Concealer. I'm using my little Laura Mercier brush. So I'm just going to literally really lightly. My tapered MAC brush, this is 180. I'm going to use NC40, and I'm just going to run this along the jaw. Just kind of tapping because I don't want to be too aggressive with how I put it on. And then I'm just going to dab this into something a little bit darker now because I want to go through the hairline just here. So I'm going to use Bobbi Brown Bronzing Powder in Golden Light. Tapered brush, just go around the hairline. Make sure you go like right up to the hairline because you don't want a gap. It looks terrible if there's, some people sort of start about there and then there's like a gap. That just looks really bad. And then just drag it all the way down, and what you've got sort of excess on the brush, come under the jaw. A little Smashbox brush. This is a nice little angled brush. It's really good for contouring actually. So this, we could just run down the sides of the nose. Really good for narrowing the nose. Where you've got that lighter piece that we did earlier, that just keeps it all looking really nice and defined. And now, so if you want to find your cheekbones, just press with your fingers and then literally, I like to just punch in there with the brush. First of all, just make my like shading with the colour, and then once I've got the colour there, I then just buff out. when you tap in a really smoky eye and then you really blend it out. Okay, and then you can just add now any finishing touches. So what I tend to do is with like a shimmer brick with the lightest shade here, I use a brush like this, which is a 227 MAC. I just go through and highlight like through the nose there. And then through this area. And then you can just pop a little bit that's left on the Cupid's bow as well. So I'm just gonna do a quick flick for you and then some gloss on the lips. So, as always, I like to curl my lashes, so I'm just using my Shu Uemura. See the difference it makes. So good. So, I got this the other day from MAC. It's called Rapid Black, and it's really good actually. It's just literally like a felt tip. So, so basically I'm just starting off in the corner here and just drawing as close as I can to the lash line. It's really easy to draw with because it's just gliding on like a pen. There you go, nice little flick. Really simple and effective. Okay, and then I'm just going to run a little bit of shadow in the socket line because where the foundation was, you need something just to set it. So I'm just going to use something really neutral like Bisque blending fluff brush, which you can get from Crown. Bisque just looks like this. And then for my lashes, I'm using at the minute They're Real by Benefit. I find it helps to look down when you're doing your mascara, so you don't tend to like print up onto your lid. And then if you do go underneath the eye at all, you can just wipe that way where it's still quite wet. I think because the skin is like the main thing here, it's all looking really like flawless, simple eyes, just keep the lips really simple. So I am just going to use this lipstick. It's called Rosy, and oh, it's called Posy, not Rosy. It kind of looks rosy, so it's just quite a nice nude colour. Perfect for the look. Very elegant. So there we go. Contoured skin, all finished. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial on contouring, and please keep watching and tweeting me and telling me what you'd like to see next time, and like the video and write a comment below, and next up is hair, so stay tuned. See you soon.